Hi, I'm David Adams. I am the instructor for the Project Management course. And today we're going to study Unit 2, Developing a Project Charter. A project charter is a 1 to 2 page document that alerts the stakeholders why a project was launched and all the parameters needed for the planning phase. In this class, we're going to use 2 case studies, one that's studied in class and one is for the homework assignments, your project exercises, and it'll contribute to your final project report. The in-class case study is the Bolt Delivery App project, and you'll learn more about it as we go along. Your take-home or homework assignment or case study is Building a New House, the New House project. Come learn about developing a project charter. Unit 2, Developing a Project Charter. We will review how to initiate the project phase. What is a project charter? Why is there a push for a project charter? Who are the key players in a project? Examine a project charter template. We will review the in-class case study, the Bolt Delivery App project. And we will end by examining the best practices for project charter. So the first phase is to initiate the project. It'll be recognized that a project is required to complete the work. A project manager will be assigned who is given authority to lead the project. In this phase, the project manager must deliver a project charter, a 1 to 2 page document that explains why the project is necessary and what are the parameters. Ideally, it's the project sponsor who drafts the project charter and gives it to the project manager. But in reality, in most cases, it's the project manager who drafts the project charter, gives it to the project sponsor to edit, and then it becomes formalized and the project charter is issued. So what is a project charter? As mentioned before, it's a simplified 1 to 2 page document that summarizes the launch of a new project, and it includes things like key players, objectives, scope, deliverables, and the target completion date and budget. And this is shared with all the stakeholders. Best practices, you will use a project charter template, which we'll use in this case, which we got the foundation from the Just Enough Project Management book. So why is there a push for a project charter? Well, studies show that a successful project often starts with a well-defined project charter. From the very beginning, the project team can plan the project with the appropriate scope. That is, what's in and what's out. Without a project charter, it's possible to plan a project that goes way beyond than what was expected. A robust project charter will mention all the key players. And this diagram in the slide demonstrates that at the very center is a project manager. That is the individual given authority to lead the project team, be that central point of contact, prepares, monitors, and reports the project plan, and coordinates and drives the team members. The project sponsor is most likely your boss, and that individual can deploy and reprioritize resources, something a project manager usually does not have that power. And the project sponsor has a final approval authority over the project and ensures the coordination with senior managers. And let's not forget the other stakeholders, primarily the customer, the team members, and the community at large, whether they be in the company or the surrounding place where the project is being built. All of these key players are mentioned in and defined in the project charter. Project charter template that we will be using has 7 key areas. We'll go over each of these in detail. Let's do a brief overview of the in-class case study, the Bolt Delivery App Project. Janie Hodge is the president of Red River Shipping Consolidators Company. They represent over 85% of the major suppliers and vendors who provide services for construction in the Dallas Metroplex area. Janie is approaching the Best App Developer Company to take on a project to develop a delivery app to make things better, faster, and cheaper. Janie Hodge met with the president of the Best App Development Company, Myrtle Sparks, and they agreed upon a project to make an app that would help the deliveries of supplies to all the major construction companies. The agreement signed launched a new project, which is going to be headed by Jen Orr. The project cost budget is $85,000 and is due by July 1st, 2023. Because of the current workload at the Best App Development Company, the market testing portion of the project will be outsourced. Please refer to the full write-up of the in-class case study for more information. Myrtle Sparks, the president and the project sponsor, asked Jen Orr, who was assigned project manager, to complete the project charter, and they're making use of the project charter template. This project charter template has 7 key areas, and we're going to start off with the key players and responsibilities. Jen Orr starts completing the project charter template and starting with the key players. Project name, of course, is the Bolt Delivery App Project. The charter date is September 1st, 2022, and it is the original. The sponsor is her boss, Myrtle Sparks. And of course, the project customer is Janie Hodge. And other project stakeholders happens to be the North Texas Construction Industry Association. They'll provide valuable input into the project, and these are the builders and suppliers. The listed stakeholder responsibilities include testing and feedback on app development and rollout. The project manager box is filled in with Jen Orr's name and her teammates Randy, Ida, and Christopher for the business, marketing, and engineering representation. In the second section of the project charter template, it's the business and project objectives. In this area, you need to address 3 questions. What's the driving force behind this project? What is the business need, and what exactly is this project about? This quick summary is valuable to anyone wanting to understand why the project's being done. And the case study write-up provides excellent information to fill in these project objectives. The third area of the project charter template is very important, project scope, and really asking 2 basic questions. What is in the project and what is definitely out? I think everyone really understands to include what's in the project, but why mention the excludes? Well, it's very important, so you set expectations. You're not going to do extra work for the project. You're only going to deliver what is needed. You're going to meet expectations. So for instance, the project manager put as a project scope exclusion is non-commercial construction delivery. It doesn't include residential supply delivery. The fourth section of the project charter template to be filled is project deliverables, and you're looking for what tangible products or services will be completed, as well as the all-important what project management tools are to be included. You will learn that Project management is much more than just schedule, cost, and resources. There's additional activities that include things like a risk assessment and a communication plan. The next section is the assumptions and constraints. And what to question is, what are the factors or situations assumed in the planning phase? And what are the constraints? This is very important because you need to highlight things that could or could not impact. For instance, in this particular project charter, there's a mention that it needs to be programmed for 2 languages, English and Spanish. The next section is extremely important, the target completion and budget. You will learn from the project sponsor when the project is supposed to be done and how much money you need to spend. In some cases, it may be pulling from a hat as far as what they think the date would be and what the budget could be. Until you do the work breakdown structure, you really don't know, but at least you have the parameter that is set. And the most important part of this project charter template is the project approval. This is your license to start the project. The project sponsor, along with the project manager, both agree that this is the starting point of a project. You really don't know what will end up until further along the project planning, but it's an agreement that this project is viable and authorize the beginning of the planning process. So for the bolt delivery app project, Jen Orr, the project manager, completed the project charter and got the project sponsor to sign off. The deliverables will be the foundation for the work breakdown structure in the next unit. It is at this point the project manager will distribute the project charter to all the key players and stakeholders. He will form the project team and begin the planning phase. With every unit of study, I will end with a best practice summary. I will share what I've learned for over 30 years of project management. For a project charter, you need to spend the appropriate amount of time to develop. You need to get the project charter sign up before you really start. Get that license to begin. Don't get too far down the road before you really understand what the expectations are. You need to distribute the project charter to all key players, but also take note, you may have to exclude business-sensitive information when required. And start to begin to develop an ongoing communication plan, especially with the project sponsor and key stakeholders.